Take the journey into the unknown with SNX Radio as we delve into the enigmatic world of UFO sightings and extraterrestrial abductions. Join us for conversations with leading experts and individuals who have encountered these otherworldly beings, uncovering secrets about their experiences, contact stories, and the profound implications for humanity. Listen as we reveal the incredible narratives of those who have undergone alien abductions, shedding light on the psychological and spiritual impacts of these encounters. Explore the depths of consciousness and spirituality as we discuss how these experiences may connect us to something greater beyond our understanding.
Met you on the back row, phone screen glow, slow motion halo. You say hit that follow, next thing, we're flying over cargo. Swipe up, then we lift off, both feet leaving this floor. Highway like a kid jump, you said, you ready for more. Coleyufo, beat me up, let's go, whoa, whoa. Turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the cosmic drop. Coleyufo, we never gonna stop. Beat me up, all night. Coleyufo, shining extra bright. Top 10 hit. We're trending worldwide. Coleyufo, take me for a ride. Beat me up. Hands up in the main room, me and dust on my white shoes. You spin me like a typhoon, lost track, but I'm locked on you. Baseline in my cage, oh yeah. Time warp when you say my name. You smile, then we time lapse. Two hearts in a hyperdrive lane. Coleyufo, beat me up, lights go whoa, whoa. Turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the cosmic drop. Coleyufo, we never gonna stop. Beat me up, all night. Coley, shining extra bright. Top 10 hit. We're trending worldwide. Coleyufo, take me for a ride. Spin me around the moon, low gravity. Every little move, new galaxy. Closer, you're my supernova. Countdown, 3, 2, I disappear with you. Disappear with you. Coleyufo, beat me up, lights go whoa. Turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the hype and drive. Coleyufo, we're never gonna stop. Beat me up.
Hey, SNX come. Drop. I'm being reported.
Together we float, night after night. Disclosure, no style. Coleyufo, lead the way. Different views, here to stay.
James Gilliland Orbs, peaceful contact shine. East City skies where the UFOs align. Daryl W. Sims and plans cross the line. Alien hunter evidence, truth redefined. Stephen Mirror threads, weave it all tight. Phenomenal connections burning bright. Set breed love, cryptids in sight. Small town monsters, legends ignite. David Spinks energy, bold and deep. Vibrations rise and awaken if we sleep.
spirit spreading peace so sweet. Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob House, footprints clear. Sasquatch trails, drawing ever near. Patrick Cross channels, messages near. Voices from beyond, crystal clear. Dark skin of films, gateway disclosure pure. Capturing truths that will endure. Wonder by retreats, consciousness sure. Expanding minds, opening every door. This heart,
Let's go.
truth drop,
Truth drop.
disclosure, non-stop.
Let's go.
Coleyufo,
Let's go.
lead the way. In different views, it'll stay.
War with the true, glide through the stars. Stay. Hands in the air, drop them bombs. Circle the ring, feel that vibe. Let's go. SNX crew, keep it alive. 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 Hey, let's go. Yeah.
Somebody's life,
Response.
truth drop,
Truth drop.
disclosure, non-stop.
Let's go.
Coleyufo,
Response.
lead the way. Yes, you're not everywhere.
Hey ho, truth drop, let's go. Hands up high, feel the flow. Hey ho, truth drop, let's go. Hands up high, feel the flow. Hey ho, truth drop, let's go. Hands up high, feel the flow. Hey ho, truth drop, let's go. Hands up high, feel the flow.
Hey!
SNX crew,
Together we explore it, night after night. Let's go! Truth drop, disclosure, non-stop. SNX crew, lead the way. Different views, here to stay. Go! James Gilliland orbs, peaceful contact shine. East City skies where the UFOs align. Daryl W. Sims, implants cross the line. Alien hunter evidence, truth redefined. Stephen Love Ray, phenomenal connections burning bright. Seth Breedlove, small town monsters, legends ignite. David Spinks, energy, hold and deep. Vibrations rising, awakening from sleep. Truth drop.
up, let's go. Coleyufo in the cockpit live. If you're ready for the truth, throw your hands up high. Truth beyond disclosure. Lights in the sky take over. Coley got the files, it's a takeover. Everybody in the club yelling, show us truth beyond disclosure. We want facts, we want closure. Hands up if you're tired of the cover. It's the sound of the secrets uncovered. Yo, radar locked, but they don't see nothing. Farmtown kids saw the triangle hovering. Phone in his hand, got the whole thing filmed. Next day gone like it fell in the kiln. Black man's creeping, sir, that's a star. But his zigzag snaps like a muscle car. There's a base badge flash, don't take pics. Still the hanger got crap that can break physics. New spin tight with the same 10 lines, but the pilot can't sleep, sees the same 3 lights. Briefed in a room, this meeting ain't happened. Sign this paper, mine gets flattened. Flip that script when Coley goes live. Pull the tape back, play a slow rewind. Every little blur in the grain enhanced. Now the whole damn world in a trance like lights in the sky take over. Coley got the vibes, it's a takeover. Everybody in the club yelling, show us truth beyond disclosure. We want facts, we want closure. Hands up if you're tired of the cover. It's the sound of the secrets uncovered. Let's go.
Yeah, I know what I saw, don't gaslight me. Whole block froze when it slid low key. Silent silver hanging over my street, then it shot straight up like it skipped through beats. Grandma told tales, what they called a wild. Same marks on her arms since she was a child. Same humming in her bones when the sky turns green. Same tall visitors stepping into hard dreams. Feeling fantastic, pages blacked out to the truth leak loud from a single shout. Cold case photo, same bright sphere. Different decade, still the same damn fear. You can scrub that feed, you can spin that feed, but the pattern stay sharp like a laser beam. Coley in the booth, bring receipts, that proof. Whole crowd chant when he hits that truth light.
Hands up if you see strange lines. Hands up if you heard them lies. Hands up if you're done with classify. Now scream if you want that file. Truth beyond disclosure. Truth beyond disclosure. When I say Coley, you say UFO. 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 When I say truth, you say let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. From the base to the race to the backbone, sighting in the jet can't flip for the tic tac climbing from the dark in the lab with the metal left in to the late night show where the story begins. This our time, this our show. Turn it up loud on SNX radio. If you want that file, better make that noise. Whole world sing with a million voices. Lights in the sky take over. Coley got the files, it's a takeover. Everybody on the game now show us truth beyond disclosure. When the facts leave that cover. Hands up if you're tired of the cover. This is the sound of the seats that cover. Truth beyond disclosure. Beyond disclosure. Beyond
All right. I think we should be good to go. Thank you, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SNX Radio. I'm Coley, also known as Coleyufo, and I do apologize. I had some issues. StreamYard had some issues. We all had some issues, maybe, with Instagram, but I got it fixed, so I apologize for the lengthy intro. But you all know that I'm doing that because I'm taking the link, I'm dropping it live just so our guest gets the most listeners possible. So we have a great following over on X. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and all sorts of places. So, so I wanted just to thank everybody for being here. And also we have, since it's Mystical Monday, the beautiful and lovely Maya. Maya, you want to tell everybody who you are and where they can find you?
Hi, I'm Miya StarFire, and you can find me on YouTube at Miya StarFire and on Facebook at Miya StarFire.
Yes, Maya's great. Definitely, she's got a channel also. Definitely check her out. She's got and does some brilliant work. She's a great energy healer. And so, too, before we get started, I just wanted to go through and say hello to everybody in chat. I do see Kitty Catty Wax in the house. It's nice to see you. And then we have Allison. I don't know. I'm BMR that one, I think. Ashes, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I don't have my right glasses on. I have like ones that are really old. So it's just like if I can't, I'm like leaning forward. That's why it's a vision. You know what? BMR can always be like, I can't see anything. So I legit can't see. And I should just probably use the other monitor. But moving along. Hi, Gary. And Gary, too, when you get back from vacation from Texas, we're definitely going to get you on the show and get your experiences. That's awesome. Bigfoot Michigan Rob. If you guys have not, go over to his channel. He's got a great channel at Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Definitely subscribe to him. And let's see who else we have. Oh, the beautiful Miya StarFire, but she's right here. Definitely get over to her channel and subscribe to her. Werewolf is in the house. Nice to see you. Brian Poden, thank you. And I saw the super chat before. It's really greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. I love that. They are. Aren't they awesome? Big, I always call BFD 420 for Bigfoot. Yeah, dwarf. Nice to see you in chat. So I always I don't think he knew at first I was talking to him. So then I put it in parentheses. But it's usually big F and deal. I thought that was cool. Bigfoot dwarf. So.
Oh yeah. Big F and D.
Yeah, big F and D. Lori, it's nice to see you. Oh my gosh, I know. And then I know I saw Castro in here without the R. I just can't see you.
Noon at noon here.
Hi, Diane. Thank you again, Brian. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll just pretend we're BMR for the night. That's okay.
Yeah, I can't see.
I can't see. But you're quicker on chat than I even see it in your show. What do you mean you can't see?
Oh, there's Raybert.
Oh, hey, Raybert. Raybert's, he's from X. He actually came apart. He loves being a part of the team, and we love having him. So, Raybert, Gary, too, I just wanted to thank you for holding that wrench. You and Blazer. I don't see Blazer yet, but you guys are just amazing with those wrenches, like wizards. Wizards, yeah, I know. Andrew, it's nice to see you. Do you see anybody I'm missing, Maya? Nice to see everybody.
Kurt, I saw Kurt jump in.
Oh, Kurt W75?
Yeah, Bino just popped in, too.
Oh, Beno and Kurt W75 and Paranormal Paul. You guys, if you have not been over to Paranormal Paul's channel, if you watched the Unhinged collab we did and you saw the guy in the blue, the tribute to his shorts and the whole, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And the Moon at Noon, nice to see you. And then we got Benno and anybody else?
Andrew from Andrew Gnomes Trucking.
Oh, Jay Michael. Hey, Jay. It's good to have you. And then let's see here. See anybody I missed? Fallen. Nice to see you. Yes, and welcome. Nice to see you as always. And two, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Daryl. Nice to see you. It's so awesome. I'm I hate missing anybody in the first call. So Nicole, thank you for being here. Let's see. And do you see anybody else, Maya? I can't barely see. Can BMR see anybody else? Midnight Night Watchers. Okay, so we're back at Bride. So I think we got you covered. If we missed you, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. It's just it really.
It's a lot tougher than it looks, guys.
Especially new glasses. I'm like, these aren't new. These are not new. But when you switch your prescriptions, it's not always easy to read, I guess, especially a thing. So we got a great guest tonight. He covers every field. He goes from the cryptids. I mean, he's got Bigfoot encounter, Dogman. Then he gets paranormal, and he's going all the way to the UFO. And I know we put on there strictly we're kind of going to go down the cryptid road, but he seems to feel like he can connect these three and help us understand that better. And I thought that might be most beneficial to everybody. So And Al, before we say this, because I am so sorry if I BMR that, and that means like I mangle, but I think we got this one. I got to stop doing this because as soon as I put focus on it, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. No. So without further ado, Al has such an extensive background. I'm going to bring him on and have him tell you a little bit about himself. So Al Santariga. And I hope and I just took Maya off in the process. Sorry about that, Maya. I didn't say it right. I know I didn't. Can you tell everybody your real name?
Not your stage name.
Can you tell me your real name, not the one I just made up for you?
Santariga, Al Santariga. Now, I know a lot of people in the chat already know who I am and know my story and stuff. We got a lot of friends in the chat tonight, I see. But there's one real fat bastard in the chat that's been breaking my chops for like 20 years now. Mr. Bowden, the paranormal professor.
Oh, yeah, Brian Bowden. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so for the people who don't know who I am, my name is Al Santariga. My mom was a psychic. My brother was one of the first parapsychologists in the United States, and founder of the Bronxville Paranormal Society and director of the New York State UFO Project, the New York State DOGMAN Project, and the New York State Sasquatch Organization. And Brian Bowden volunteers me for everything else under the sun. So that said, that's who I am and what I do. I cover everything. Brian has been with me since day one. We've covered everything together. So. He
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So I didn't know that you and Brian were that. Brian was just on, and he jumped on our Unhinged collab. That's so funny. I didn't know that you guys were connected.
Oh yeah, we're brothers from a different mother for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes. We many moons. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's why he's like, who's this Al guy?
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments during the course of the night.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah, I had no idea. Brian pops up everywhere. I mean, like he is like literally everywhere on podcasts. All of a sudden, I'll see him like he's got to be on. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but he is seriously everywhere on podcasts.
He calls me the pod father, but no one does more podcasts.
Oh, he is the pod father.
Yes,
That's a good way of putting it.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. For sure he is. And he knows, I mean, people even have like held him to the test. And thank you so much, Moon at Noon. It's so appreciated. And he literally he knows so much. He knows so much. Paranormal Paul.
That's why
when
I
Paranormal
call him
Paul
the
was on, he
paranormal
came
professor.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I call him the paranormal professor. He knows everything about everything.
Oh my God, he does too. I just sent him a message because I was asking him if he knew about a topic. I was wondering if he could give me, because he knows everything about everything. I feel like that is so funny. Oh my gosh, yeah. So Brian, yeah, it seems to be though along the lines. I think everybody about says the same thing. But Brian has a question for you. He says, "Why is canola?" This is where my glasses. No, Brian, you're supposed. Yeah, cannoli man, your favorite cryptid. I didn't see the eye in there.
Yes.
That's how bad these are.
Yeah. This is what I mean. You know what I mean? It's gonna be one of those nights.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you, folks. I'll see you next week.
So are you guys from the same area, or how did you meet Brian?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we met at a.
You both sound the
a
same,
UFO,
kind of.
A UFO
Like you're from the
group,
same area.
Yeah, we're both basically from the Bronx. Yeah. But Brian's from the rich part, and I'm from the poor part.
Brian. But you know, he is a great guy. I always could say because people but we have some people on that were from Boston, and they do not mix the two together. I'm from the Midwest, so I got that Midwest twang, and I can't tell the difference between dialects, but I do know, I was like, I bet they live close together, because you guys sound like you have that same dialect.
You know, we don't talk to people from Boston, but anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? I had learned this. Yeah, I like. You don't mix the two. So how did you? So you've had. How did you get all involved in all of this? You said you had a mom. You have this runs in your lineage.
My mom was a psychic, and like I said, my brother was a parapsychologist, and he had all those books from everything under the sun that you could think of. I had my first ghostly visitation when I was like 5 years old. It was my grandmother who passed away, and she came to me. I was in her bed in her room on her mattress with her pillow, and she came to me every night and tucked me in for like a week straight, you know. She only spoke Italian. She talked to me in Italian. And I knew she had died because the funeral parlor was across the street, and we had just come from the funeral parlor, and I went to bed, and, you know, here she is tucking me in. So I couldn't tell my father. He didn't believe in anything paranormal, or even though he'd seen a ghost run through the engine block of his car, he still didn't want to believe it. But
was he afraid?
No, my father wasn't afraid of anything. He was a World War II hero, you know, war hero with like 3 Purple Hearts. He wasn't afraid of anything, but he just didn't want to admit there was stuff out there that he couldn't wrap his mind around, you know. And then like I said, with my brother, my sister was very intuitive and stuff. So, you know, growing up, it was just a natural thing. I had one summer, one fall actually, where I seen a UFO in the sky every day and every night. And I was losing my mind because I'd go out in the morning to go to work, it'd be dark. I'd come home, it'd be dark. And there was always UFOs. And I called my brother in Michigan, and I said, Frank, I'm losing my mind, you know. And he's like, you know, there's a UFO group right across the street from where you work. You should go to it. And I started going there, and that's how I met Brian. And from that group, I put my team together, the Bronxville Paranormal Society, and we started doing investigations. And we always investigated everything. We were all like-minded people, and we all thought everything was connected. Of course, back then we couldn't put our finger on the thread. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then we started getting invited to symposiums and stuff like that. And you know, you can't go to a UFO symposium with a paranormal banner, you know what I mean? And
right.
You can't go to a Sasquatch symposium with a UFO banner.
There was a time. There was a time.
So we branched off to all these other groups. We came up with all these different names and all these different banners. So no matter where we went, where we were invited, we had the right banner for the right thing because we didn't want to have to fight with people. You know, we weren't there.
Should have one that like flipped over, like you could quickly fold it over and Velcro behind it. Like it wasn't ridiculous though. It really was.
Oh yeah, no, it was yeah. People, they didn't want to hear it. Like, what are the UFO? What is the paranormal group doing here talking about UFOs? They have no clue. Meanwhile, I've been, you know, abducted like twice and stuff, you know. So like, don't tell me I don't have a clue, you know. And don't tell him that, because we do feel that way. We really do. I mean,
it's like you can't do that. Yeah, somebody's experience, especially if you have not experienced this for yourself. You have no idea. You really don't.
You have no idea. You really don't. And again, like we were talking before the show started, you said you want to see a cryptid, a Bigfoot, or whatever. You probably don't, because your brain will not be able to comprehend what your eyes are seeing.
Do you know, I thought that when I was out there, we were looking and we got close, and I thought, you know what? In my head, I thought, I don't know if my brain can handle seeing them right now because of all of the other stuff. I don't think I told my brother, he was with me, I was like, I think I've rethought this. Like, I don't think I should see, you know, because truly, I think there's a party that is true. That is very true.
Yeah, no, your brain shuts down because these things are so big and so massive, and your brain will be saying monsters aren't supposed to exist. Even if they're not being aggressive, they're just standing there. You know what I mean? They're just so large and overwhelming that...
Well, I think I have a cryptid issue, and I can envision what it looks like, but I don't want to know for a fact. I don't even need to know for a fact. that's how I agree with you 1,000%. I get that.
I tell people that all the time, be careful what you wish for in all aspects of the paranormal, because I consider it all paranormal. But when I was growing up, I didn't know that paranormal was paranormal. I just thought it was normal, because my family, I had an aunt who was a white witch and a cousin who was a black witch, and they would do seances, and, you know, I've seen candelabras dance from flames an inch to go up to like 2 feet high and stuff like that, and I didn't know all that stuff was paranormal. I just thought it was normal. That's what my family did, you know, and until I started talking to my friends, and they're like, dude, that's not normal, you know, and I was like, well, it is in my family, you know, but
yeah. No, I
but,
get that.
It is what it is, and, you know, one thing led to another, and we started this group, and we started going out and doing investigations, and, you know, like I said, in the beginning, we thought everything was separate. I mean, we all had like-minded. We all had, how do I put this? We all had a feeling, a vibe that it was connected, you know, but we were trained.
Couldn't put your finger on it.
But we trained to think that it wasn't, you know, because all of these different MUFON and the BFRO and all of these different groups were all trying to keep everything separate, you know, and but we kind of always did think it was all connected, and it took many years of investigating all aspects of the paranormal to finally, you know, put your finger on it. And, you know, like I said, it's not that you ever think you'll never, there's nothing else to learn, because there's always something new. When I think there's nothing else for me to experience, something happens that blows me away, and it gets me like all jacked up again, you know, all
energized.
For it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that thought never crossed my mind, you know, light bulb never went on, and then something happens, you know, with the, I had how do I put this? I had an ascension at one point in my life, okay? And I don't know what it was, my spirit guide, whatever, took me out of my body and up into the universe on a rainbow bridge. And
Yep.
It was showing me all kinds of stuff, you know, and it was showing me like all these amazing people, these geniuses and stuff, music notes and mathematical equations, and Bach and Beethoven and Einstein and Tesla and all these people. And it told me, by the time we get home tonight, by the time you go back into your body, I'm going to tell you the secrets of the universe. So I'm like, awesome, tell me the secrets of the universe, you know? And as we were ascending back down the Rainbow Bridge, and the Rainbow Bridge was an amazing bridge, and the colors were so pure, you've never seen colors like this before in your life, just breathtaking colors, like their colors looked like they were alive, okay? I mean, I don't know how to explain it, that's how pure they were. And it said to me that the secret to the universe is frequency, vibration, and consciousness, and intention too. It goes a long way, especially in this realm, you know. We use intention for all things, whether we're trying to communicate with ghosts, CE5s with aliens, or out in the woods with cryptids. It's our intention that brings these things in.
Oh, so true. It's all about intention. It really is.
It is, and so, you know, I said, okay, so it's consciousness that connects us all. That's the thread I've been looking for all these years, you know. And then I did an investigation. Brian was with me. We were doing these ancient stone chamber investigations. And I like to do day-night, and I like to go old school, new school, because you never know what's going to work, okay?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And we were there during the day, and I was filming, and we were doing I was asking a lot of questions, and we were getting a lot of answers with the dowsing rods and the quartz crystal pendulums and all kinds of stuff, you know. And then we went back at night, and a little voice in the back of my head said, hey, you know, why don't you do this? Take the quartz crystal pendulum and tie it to the tripod that you have the camera on. put the tripod in the stone chamber, go outside with the camera, film, and ask the same questions you asked this morning, but do it telepathically and see what happens. And I did that, and the thing answered me. It heard whatever I was dealing with, and with an entity, heard all of my thoughts. Okay? And I was like, holy, again, aha moment, holy crap, these entities can hear my thoughts. Okay. I had a UFO come over my house for like a week straight, and I filmed it in every spectrum of light, and the only spectrum of light it didn't show up in was thermal. Okay? Go figure that, right? Now, it always showed up at 8 o'clock at night, and one morning I'm going to work 4:30 in the morning, and it's there. And I'm tired, man. It's 4:30 in the morning, you know? And I just look up at it, and I go, nah, I ain't got no time for you today, bro. I'm just too goddamn tired, you know? And as I'm walking off the front deck with my coffee, the little voice says, stop. This is important. Film this. So as I'm filming it, the little voice in my head said, ask it to acknowledge you, but ask it telepathically. So I asked the UFO, and I'm filming this, I got video of this. I asked the UFO, if you can hear me, acknowledge me, show me, give me a sign.
Yes.
And this thing flashed me, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And what I thought was a flash, when I rewound the video and watched it again, the craft actually expanded like 10 times its normal size and then shrunk back down. So I'm like, holy crap, this thing could, whatever in this craft heard my thought. Okay?
I say the same thing. I call it a locked in. I said you become locked in. They know, you know, it's just like they anticipate, but they can, yeah, they definitely do. I agree with that.
Now, the entities heard my thought in the stone chamber. The aliens heard my thought in the UFO.
Yeah.
Now I'm going out to one of my locations, Bigfooting, and at this particular location, the Bigfoots are on the west side of the woods, and the Dogmen are on the right side of the woods. Now, I've been going to this location for 10 years. I've never, when I go there for the Bigfoots, I don't even think about the Dogman. The Dogman came to my house not once but twice. I give the Dogman all the room in the world, okay? It's a 4-mile hike in and then another half a mile up the mountain. And as I'm hiking up the mountain with my cousin, the thought comes to me, I wonder if the Dogman is still in the den on the other side of the woods. Now, this thought has never come to me when I'm there for the Bigfoots. But this particular day, it does. No sooner do we get up to the high ridge where the sacred site is, we drop our bags, and the Dogman goes off on the other side of the woods, screaming to high heaven. And we recorded it. We recorded it with our phones. And I felt like he was telling me, yes, I'm still here. This is for you. Don't come on my side of the woods tonight. You know what I mean? And that checks the cryptids. So now the entities, the aliens, and the cryptids have all heard my thoughts and answered me, acknowledged me. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that's another thread. Now, not only is it what's your consciousness, but it's telepathic communication. And to me, that was like, again, another aha moment, right? Like, holy crap, you know, this thought never crossed my mind, and here it is, you know. Now, it didn't happen to me once, not twice, but 3 separate times. So that kind of just blew my mind, you know.
That's amazing. I've had the same situation with the crafts in the sky. I've asked them to do different shapes, and they have, and I caught it on film as well. And it was a very like eye-opening, fantastical type of moment, you know, like, oh my gosh, you are connected. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Brian and I, we've done CE5s where we brought crafts in, you know what I mean? And had them fly, 20 miles away and back in a blink of an eye, and then they were going to leave, and we called them back, and we said, I always do like a Morse code with my tactical flashlight. And
I do too.
It always gets me in trouble when I do it.
I use tactical lights too. That's funny. I was just talking about this the other night. Yeah.
And I did a tactical like Morse code with my tactical flashlight, and it flashed back. And the last time it flashed, we were in a giant baseball field with like 100 people around us, and this thing flashed. The last time it flashed before it left, it flashed so bright that it lit up that baseball field like it was daytime, and people were just blown away by it. We were actually, that day we were at a place called Pine Bush. It's like the New York State UFO
they have a
capital.
UFO conference there
Every year. Yeah. We spoke at the conference. We spoke like 4 times that day, so we're exhausted. And the next Monday, the woman who ran the conference called me, and she's like, Al, what the hell did you guys do Saturday night in the park? And I was like, why? She goes, my phone hasn't stopped ringing. What did I said, well, it was a UFO conference, right? We brought in a UFO. How much better does it get than that?
What else do you want?
Yeah,
I know.
It doesn't get any better than that.
I know, but they act like it's almost like they get freaked. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
And the
either.
chief of police was there. He's seen it too, so.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
What do you think's going to happen if you bring in 100 beacons of light to the other side? They're all going to flock to it, I think. I think that we're beacons,
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
They all go, oh, another one can see. Let's go interact with them. So
yes,
yeah.
And like I said, I think it's our energy, it's our vibration. I mean, we may be vibrating at a higher vibration. You know what I mean? That's what I tell people all the time. If you're vibrating at a higher frequency, then you don't really have to worry about low frequency dark things coming in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They can't penetrate that high frequency, that, you know what I mean? So, but I also tell people all the time, especially Bigfooters, that's like, when you guys go out in the woods, I know most of you guys are armed, with guns and stuff like that, but protect yourself spiritually too, because the things I've seen out in the woods, if I told you about all the crap I've seen out there, you would want to throw me away in a rubber room for the rest of my life. There are things out in the woods that you can't wrap your mind around, and it's not just DOGMAN or Bigfoot or the rake or Wendigos and stuff like that. There's a lot of other things out there, So you got to remember, this whole planet was nothing but woods at one time, So. They're just in their element,
Do you think
I have a surprise for you. Sorry.
Oh no!
I don't believe anything this guy's saying whatsoever.
Yeah, so I thought, Brian, I was just pulling up the picture that you sent, but it was on the wrong Facebook account, so I can pull it up on the other, unless you want me to share a screen, or are you?
I can't. I don't. I'm on my phone at this point, so.
Oh no, I'll get it. No problem.
But he mentioned the den, and we have a great evidence. You can see this bigger creature there that's really grotesque, and then a couple of pups. So that was the den that Mr. Santariga was mentioning.
Oh, the DOGMAN den.
Yeah.
The DOGMAN den, okay.
So I'm not going to take from your time, Mr. Santariga.
Is that what I called him, Brian? I BMR'd his name. He told me backstage too, and I was like, oh, F. As soon as I put focus on it. Yeah, and I just want to thank Moon and Noon, and congratulations on becoming part of the Woo Crew. We got a name finally. But I'm going to, the Woo Crew. We're going to go ahead and Brian, too, thank you for your super chats. I'll thank you in person.
No problem.
Go ahead and share the
Sure.
super cat. Let's see.
Super cat.
The super cat is open. Let's see.
Yeah.
And here we go. It's working, I promise. This one right here. Do you want me to try and see if I can zoom in on it, or here, I guess we go. Am I at the
Yeah, if
right
you can
area?
zoom in, it'd be on a different. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, tell me where
Look
you
right there. You can't miss it on the left. Right there's something big. You can see the eye on the left. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you really zoom in on it, you'll see this pup in the kind of more on the left. There's a pup there. It looks like a little bit of a German Shepherd, but its mom is right to
Right
the
there
left.
is the eye. You see the
Yeah.
eye?
Yeah, I think yeah. Let me
I see it.
I'm just
It's got a canine head to it. It's got like dogman ears.
are we right in this area?
Right there, yeah, right between those two
Oh, wow.
sticking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And somewhere in the middle is the mother, the one who bluff charged us, snarling at us because she knew we found
Oh,
the
I
dead.
see it up above the baby a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty big, and it
Bad
was
day for
an
no
interesting
bluffs.
night.
No, thank you.
What about it? Can you guys see when I use the mouse or whatever? What is this over here onto the right side? Or am I
That could
looking
be
at different-
another area. I mean, you'd have to zoom in a little bit.
You know what? Let me turn this off because this is probably really distracting.
There
Okay.
are more in there. It's not just one or one.
Yeah,
pup
there's a
The-
few of them in there.
On the right where you just had the pointer is a big male with
Right
a
there.
canine head.
Is-
Yeah, right there. You can see the eye-ish top of the eye. Yeah.
Wow.
And there's another one right in the middle too. You can see another canine head.
Right there where your mouse is. Yeah.
Right here.
If you zoom in, that one is snarling at us. You can
That's
see
the
Yeah, I
one.
see it. I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was
And
the
then
one
there's
that bluff
so you
charged
can
us.
see when I'm like I have my mouse on it. I see this
Yes.
guy. Yeah, and then okay. And then you guys see this thing, right? Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
I don't
No,
see
that's a
anything
thing.
down there.
Yeah,
It looks like it's
it's-
eye, and then it looks like I don't know. And there's
It's
like one
behind
thing
the
over top of it.
it's kind of camouflaged behind the grass, but
And if you look
Yeah.
straight up, dead in the center, and you come back to the right a little bit with your pointer. Come up to the right with the pointer. To your left, maybe.
That's
your left.
the other-
Your
Oh,
left,
your other
okay.
right.
Yeah,
Coley,
I'm
your other
sorry,
right.
This is so it must be showing different. Okay.
Yeah.
I see a little one below the one to the left, like a really little one.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a bunch of different kind of creatures in that den.
What were you pointing out that I missed? So am I still going the wrong way, or you want me to go this way?
No,
It's like straight in the center between the blades of glass
yeah,
or
between
grass.
the blades of grass. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Another big one. It's and
Right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
To the left a little bit. Yeah, no.
To your right.
Oh, am I right? Okay.
Yeah. Right
Like in
there.
here?
Okay,
Dead
right-
center.
right there,
center.
dead center is
Canine
and
head.
it's yeah.
Oh, to your left a little bit. Right now, come straight up. Right there. You're right. Those are the ears.
Oh,
Those are his
okay.
ears. You see the ears?
So right here.
Down
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
Oh wow.
They weren't happy we were back.
They weren't happy we found the den, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that like when I get pictures like this? I mean, this is kind of because I've seen other people pull pictures like this before, and I'm like, it again reminds me screams paranormal because this is how I envision the paranormal, and I'm like, is that what's happening? Is it just kind of like they're,
Well, they
the way
blend in. They blend in with their environment, and they're very hard to see. You know what I mean? And we had this up on a big 60-inch screen TV when
Yep.
we were looking at it. And actually, we were having coffee and cake when one of our cameraman Bill's mother came in and spotted a couple of things in the den. She's like, "What are these things here?" And we're like, "Where?" And she's like, "Right here."
Yeah.
And she had fresh eyes on it, and she
Wow.
spotted it immediately. And like we were looking at it for hours, and just everything becomes one big blur at some point.
Yeah, it does. And then
Yeah.
until you have looked through so many of them, it's like the paranormal pictures. Until I've looked through so many of them, I'm like, it does. It comes, but once you can start picking them out. It's just like bam, bam, just like that. That's awesome. Very cool.
You can. I mean, when you see it too much, this is why we always try to do a debrief after an investigation, unless it's just Al and I an investigation, and we have some great, you can go into all the plan Bs we've done. Plan Bs are better than plan As. Yeah. So it's,
I always have three routes through A, B, and C.
A, B, and C, yeah.
A, B, and C, and up in New York, I can't carry. So, I don't have a license in New York State for anything. So it's just machetes. And actually, Dogman responds a lot better to a machete than a firearm because they know that they can slice them in half. But
cut off their limbs, yeah. I mean, same thing with a Bigfoot. Bigfoot will respect the long blade a lot more than it will a gun. Yeah.
But I don't want to take away from the Squatchfather. So,
well, we're coming from the podcaster, and this we got
I'm not the
podfather, the podcaster. Yeah. That was like the lame-o.
This is the guy that when I was thinking about becoming an astrophysicist, he said, "You mean an asshole physicist?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So, that's Al for you.
I got
a question for Mr. Santariga. When you were being flashed by the UFO, how big was its boobs? Bye, everybody.
And on that note,
yeah,
Brian, oh my God, he's hilarious.
Insane. Yes, that's why I love him so much. Yeah,
I know, I love it. I do. That's funny.
Yeah, that was a good one. It was a good one.
Out of his mind. Yeah. We work great together because he thinks I think we're very black and white. You know what I mean? I like stuff to make sense. I want to rationalize everything, and he thinks out of the box. So. We mesh well together, especially when we're out on an investigation. We spit stuff back and forth to each other, bounce stuff off of one another all the time. So.
Yeah, no,
he's always telling me, Al, it's time to leave before we die, and I'm always like, no, let's wait 5 more minutes. I think there's something else gonna happen. And he's like, we're gonna die. Let's go. And I'm like, all right,
That's hilarious. And you know what? I've been surprised by Brian. Like I've seen it and I've heard it and I've heard, other people talk about it because I had no idea. I mean, it's like, how does he know all of this about everything? And it checks out. It's not that it doesn't, it checks out. I mean, it really does.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret about Brian. He's probably going to get mad at me if I tell you this.
Does he carry a little notebook in his pocket or something?
Brian is independently wealthy. And he's got nothing to do all day but research.
So he researches all day long.
Researches all day long. All day and all. Another thing about Brian is he's a vampire, so he doesn't sleep. So he's up all night as well researching. So, yeah, you can't get anything past him.
Yeah. No, I believe that. Yeah, he's pretty quick on stuff, and he's funny. He's funny.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, he's brilliant. He's a brilliant guy. Batshit crazy, but brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
We're all a little crazy here, though.
The brilliant ones are always crazy, don't you think? Course, I like to think we're the brilliant ones here. Everybody's got a little crazy. I say at least I know my crazy.
In its time, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? The rest of the world can say what they want, but as long as you know you're crazy, and like I own my crazy. Like I know it when it comes out. I'm well aware of identifying it. Some people, man, they're not even at the beginning stages of that. So I like to think we're ahead of the game here.
I think knowing as much as we do makes us crazy.
Yeah, there we go. Knowing is crazy. Yeah. That's like another crazy upon a crazy.
That's crazy in a whole different direction. Crazy. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that is funny too. That is so true. When you go through, like you talked about before, I think you touched upon like the awakening process and the whole consciousness and becoming in that type of, that's a painful road to walk down. And then when you start to see all, like you said, you started to, instead of seeing the differences, you started to see the similarities of all of these things. And you're like, oh, I recognize that. I recognize this. And being an experiencer of all of them, do you think that, I guess in your opinion, especially you and Brian finding, and Brian I know is experienced about everything too, and I thought, man, at first, how is this possible? Like the UFO and then the paranormal, but then it was like, you know, past that, I was like, my brain's going to shut down here. Is it, do you think it's like something that you, because I know with ET, you have to ask for it. Paranormal, I grew up with it. It was just something I inherited. But like, and then I'm like, but there has to be, because I noticed the similarities. Like every single ET experience of a certain way usually has a lineage from that's Irish or Native American, and you can see spirits or you're able to communicate with the dead. It's the same thing forever. If you couldn't, some people, even if they couldn't do or see before, you know, they shortly did after, such as Jeff Selva. And there was somebody else too that told me the same thing, that they started, it was like just shortly before or after that they then were able to see the paranormal. So that is like mind-blowing all on its own. Where do you think all the cryptids and stuff come in? Is it stuff that, you know, I guess we could see if with a trained eye, or where do you think all these, do you think it's one, like the, you know, the same consciousness? Do you think this is a simulation? I mean, like, what the hell's going on here?
No, I don't think we're living in a simulation. I think because our eyesight and our hearing and our senses are so limited as human beings, I think there's stuff all around us all the time. Like my wife believes in the paranormal, and she believes in aliens to a certain extent. Like she looks up at the night sky and sees all those stars and say, we can't be the only intelligent planet, people in the universe, right? We were up on vacation. We stay to Lake George. It's beautiful up there, and I had just gotten to these new high-powered binoculars that they does like 10 different things. And we went out one night around midnight, and we were sitting by the pool in the dark, and we're looking up at the night sky, and I say, tell me what you see. Oh, I see one, maybe two stars, right? I said, okay, now look through these things. Not only did the sky light up with 400,000 stars, but there was so much UFO traffic in the sky, it looked like any major highway in the United States.
I've seen that too.
At rush hour. You know
I've
what
seen
I mean?
this too. I thought we were being invaded.
And it blew my wife's mind. Like, what the hell is that? I was like, that's what the people in the military see with their shit when they look up in the night sky. We don't see it, but they see it. And, you know, these new generation goggles and night vision stuff is getting so good now that, you know, at this point, we can actually start using them to see stuff like that as well, you know, and it's amazing. It's just, I think there's stuff around us all the time. We just don't see, but I think people like us who are sensitive feel it, you know, we can feel the energy of others, whether it's a cryptid, an alien, or an entity or whatever. It's a different kind of energy than our energy, and we can feel it, just like, you know, people who walk into a room or they're in a room and somebody walks in with a bad attitude, or, you know, and they sense it, like, oh, you know, it's time to leave. Something's going to happen here. You know what I mean? We got to get out of here, you know, and they walk out the door, and then they read in the paper the next day that somebody came in with a gun and shot the place up, you know. You feel that energy, whether it's negative or just different. You feel it. You just, it's like my psychic said, everything has an energy signature, and that's how you identify stuff. You know, the longer you're in the game, and the deeper you get. I don't claim to be psychic by any stretch of the imagination. Everybody tells me I am because of the things I do, but I don't do it like the little voice in my head tells me to do stuff. Like, I'm on an investigation, a ghost investigation, and the voice says, touch the wall. It's a stone foundation. I touch the stone foundation, and then the voice says, touch the door. And it's like this giant, thick wooden door. It looks like it belongs on a castle. And in my mind's eye, I see like the Underground Railroad. And then I go upstairs and I talk to the historian and I say, has this place ever been used as an underground railroad? I don't do any research when I go into anything. I go into stuff blind. I don't want to know anything, you know?
Yeah.
And even if my psychic tells me you're going to see this, that, and the other thing, sometimes the crap she said is so crazy. We tell her all the time, Cindy, what are you smoking? The shit you're saying is nuts. And then at the end of the night, when we check all the boxes, everything she says has come true, you know, but we don't go in looking for it. If it happens, it happens, you know. And like I said, and then so I had this vision of night, and then the historian says, yes, how did you know? You know, it's not written down anywhere, you know, according to this building, but we know that this building was used. I said, because I was downstairs, and you know, and I sound like an idiot. A little voice in my head tells me to touch this and tells me to touch that, you know. But it's just, I don't know what this little voice is. I don't know if it's my spirit guide.
Have you ever tried to overtalk it? I have it too.
Try to talk to it?
Talk over it. Shut it down to sometimes, because sometimes it's like you want to know, but then there's times where you're like, okay, this isn't of my own, which sounds crazy, but I feel like sometimes like that's maybe like
no, I've never tried to talk over it, but there are times when it'll say, okay, it's time for you to leave. You know, you're in harm's way, and I'll say, no, I'll roll the dice. I don't roll the dice often, you know, but sometimes I'll roll the dice, and you know, some sketchy stuff will happen, but I've always walked out in one piece, you know. And say, you know what, I better not do that anymore. That was, you know, that's what he was telling me.
Do you think that's like your intuition? Because that's what's supposed to be there. That's not what I'm talking about. There's like another where it's the telepathic kind of communication coming through, or where I feel like sometimes it could be our government trying to like derail something, or when you become really conscious of some of it. But there's things, if you can't shut it down, and it's not like going with you, but it's kind of like going against the grain, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, like I said, I don't know whose voice this is. It's not my voice. You know, my psychic says
okay, so it's separate from your own then.
My psychic tells me it's my guides. Yes, it's my guides, but I don't know. I've never seen this voice. I can't have a conversation with this voice.
I was just curious if this was of you, or you felt like this was a guide separate from your own, like intuitive.
This is definitely a guide that tells me these things, because, you know, normally I'm not that aware of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm going from A to B, and that's what I'm focused on, and then the voice will say, "Stop, look up at this," and I'll stop. And one time I was coming home on the Parkway, and I seen what looked like a colored sparkler in the sky shooting off all these different colors, right? So I pull into this giant parking lot that used to be a ski resort. Now there's nothing there anymore. It's just a giant parking lot. And I have a camera in the car, and I take the camera out, and I'm trying to get photographs of these colors, because these colors are so pure that they're mind-boggling, okay? And the colors, even though the sky is like black as ink, the colors are, you can see the colors so clearly. Even the dark colors, the purples and the reds and the blues, these colors are so vibrant, but pure. And I'm trying to take pictures, and of course the camera's not working, and I'm like in a trance. Now, the first thing I did when I pulled into the parking lot is I do a time check. Whenever I see a UFO, I do a time check. That's the first thing I do. And I'm looking at this thing, and all of a sudden, I'm in a trance. These colors have put me into a trance. And then the little voice says, you know, this is a pretty big parking lot. This craft could probably land here. You may want to leave now. And then I get in the car and I leave. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh, yeah, it's right. This is a giant parking lot. I don't know how big that thing is up there, but it doesn't look like it looks like it could fit in this parking lot, and I don't want to get abducted. At least if I do, I want to be awake for it. I got a lot of questions for these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever do techniques to, like, I used to in the heart of this, like there was a heart of it for me where I'd be like throughout the day, I'd be like, okay, be aware of your smell, be aware of what you're hearing, how you're feeling. Is it cold? Is it hot? Throughout the day, would like remind myself of these prompts to try and stay more and more conscious of the experience. Because I thought, well, if we're going, I've had it before where I watched like the microwave, it was a stove, and it was some other like digital clock that I had all in one area. I just moved. I watched them flash from 5 to 5:40, and I was like, all three of them. I mean, it's like, how, it almost like, is this planned that there was 3 digital clocks? Like, it did to take for me to, I even called the power company. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I've also twice seen what you were talking about where I thought it was an invasion. Like, seriously, I saw so many. I was like, oh my God, this is probably, what they're talking about. And I drew this stupid star map. I shouldn't say stupid. I apologize for saying that. I drew the star map, and then okay, so that would have been I believe I drew that in like December, January. And then by July, I wake up and my son's like, you got something on the back of your leg. I look in and it's the star map, and I knew exactly what it was. I had to dig out my really bad drawing of it. Like I draw like a kid, and here it is imprinted on my leg. It looked like an iron had put that star map right on my leg. And it was that same place. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, is it their way of like, is it their way of like saying, hey, like here's these roadblocks, or I call them point of reflections. Like, this is big enough for you to know and confirmation for yourself? Or is it like yourself, like, hey, I would need something this big in order to get my attention that you plan for? I don't know. I don't know what it's, but I do know what you're talking about. It's like, man, it's so big or so crazy. It definitely, I said, sometimes I don't know if it's so much about the phenomena or about the people you're supposed to come in contact with. Like, hey, what thing we need big enough to ensure we all come together for whatever reason, we're here. You could go down the rabbit hole for hours on it. But
oh yeah, I think that's they put that on your leg to validate your experience. You were probably taken at some point.
Oh no, I remember. Yeah. I can tell you, 3 different types. But I always used to get stuck so much on, oh my gosh, let me remember that little fragment and splits, because it's like watching something out of a really chopped, like badly chopped movie until you get the hang of it, like until you get more and more aware or can stay more and more conscious, which is a totally separate task all on its own.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, and they say every time you get abducted, you get a little bit more sensitive psychically as well. So, I mean,
I got medically. I went from being so it provided like medical. It went against all medical odds. Like my right arm disc replacement. I couldn't like even throw a ball like a foot in front of me. I went from there that like I'm back. I'm probably twice as strong as I was before I started. And I was pretty strong. I was like a skater. Like I was, I'm always hiking and doing all sorts of stuff like that. So it wasn't anything like that. I'm very active. But yeah, that was a trade-off for me.
Brian's at it again.
What did Brian, let's see. Oh, God. Yeah, that's funny. He has guides. Their names are Deaf, Dumb, and Blind. Oh, man. Everybody needs a Brian around, man.
Oh, my God.
That is so funny. You guys are so close. You got a funny sense of humor too. I bet you guys together are very funny.
Oh yeah, we could do some shit.
Oh, I bet this would be a fun crew. Yeah. Do you guys do events out there? Anybody in your area?
We used to do a lot of events when he lived in New York. Now that he lives in Florida, I only see him for the summers. He only comes back for the summers, so I only get to see him in the summer for a couple of weeks.
Man, Brian, you need to, Florida doesn't sound like a bad place either, but during the summertime, definitely.
We had a question from Daryl Stanley.
Sure.
You had a story about a ghost deer guide you back from a research site.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I want to hear that one.
It was the same night that the DOGMAN went off when I was at the sacred site. as soon as we, again, like I said, I like to do day, night. So when I'm at a location, I'm at a location for 12, 18 hours. You know what I mean? Because I do a lot of environmental readings. And I like to see how the environment changes as the sun goes down and the moon comes up. And I try to get out there on special occasions, full moons, 1% of the moon, meteor shower, stuff like that, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. That's when I like to get out there, and I do all my measurements and all my readings. And I also incorporate other things into the environment to help to see how the readings change. I use aromas and stuff like that, and frequencies, all kinds of stuff. I'm into all kinds of stuff. And the night we left that place, it was a full moon, and when it was a solar eclipse that day, and it was a full moon that night, and the energy just had me amped up. I was amped up. I definitely did not want to go home. And I was with my cousin Sean. He was a 20-year-old kid. He had been out there with me a couple of times already, but he never had really any dogman encounters up close and personal. We've seen them at a distance, watching us, but nothing up close and personal. And so as we're hiking down, it's like 2:00 in the morning, and I really don't want to go home, but he's freezing. He's like, it's at the end of October, November 1st. He's freezing. He wants to go home. And I'm like, all right, let's go home, But I'm amped. I don't want to leave. So we hike down off the mountain. Again, it's a half a mile from the sacred side, which is on a high plateau, down to the Appalachian Trail. And when we get down the Appalachian Trail, we're on the west side of the lake, which is the Sasquatch side of the lake. And we're on this little hill, small little hill, maybe, 50-foot hill, small thing. We hike down the hill. We're hiking on the Appalachian Trail along this 52-acre lake. And just as we get down the hill, the DOGMAN comes out of nowhere. And he's on that hill that we just came down off of. And he screams. And this scream, Sean is behind me, and this scream goes through Sean, and it goes through me. And this thing is 50 feet away from us. If it wants to jump down off that hill and take us both out, it had no problem doing that. So I turn around, and I look at Sean, and Sean's eyes are as big as saucers, and he's like, DOGMAN, and I'm like, yeah, DOGMAN, and we both turn around to look for it. And we don't see it. And he's like, and here up on the East Coast, we have a lot of these stone walls that run parallel to one another through the woods. They call them landmarkers, but I don't think they're landmarkers because no one would make a stone wall 10 feet from another one and have it run parallel to one another for 10 miles. It makes no sense. But so we turn around, and it's not there. We don't see it. We have very powerful headlamps on. We don't see it. And he said, you think it dove down behind that wall? I said, I don't know, Sean. He goes, maybe it's jumped off the side of the mountain. It's hanging on the side of the mountain in the shadows, and we can't see it. I don't know, Sean. I'm not going back up the hill to look for him. You know what I mean? That's for sure. And because he came to my house twice because we went to his house, and I'm not going back to his house. But in my brain, I'm thinking, why is he on the west side of the lake? He usually stays on the east side. This is the Sasquatch side, And one of the guys that I was talking to, a radio host, podcaster, said to me, "Hey Al, did the thought ever cross your mind that he was just standing there, but he was cloaked and you didn't see him?" And I was like, no, that little light bulb never went off, especially that night, If I would have thought, I would have been looking for some kind of shimmer or something, So maybe he was still standing there. I don't know. But we start hiking out, and he's following us. He's following us out. We can feel his energy pushing us out. Now, this is something that's never happened to me with the DOGMAN. Happens all the time with the Sasquatch. They herd you out. When they're ready for you to go, they want to hunt, you got to go. There's no arguing with them. And the dog man is following us, and Sean is very sensitive, and he's like, cuz this thing is following us. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to hike out of here tonight, and we're not going to stop. And we're 4.5 miles from the car, and we're carrying 60-pound packs. And I'm an old dude, you know what? I'm 63 years old, and this is a long-ass hike. And we usually stop for water, every mile or so. And I was like, no, I don't want this thing to flank us. I don't want it to get in front of us. So let's just hike out. Let's soldier this and just hike out with nonstop. And he says, okay, we'll hike out. He's 20 years old. He's got no problem doing it, right? So we're hiking out. We get about 3 miles from where we seen him. And we're still a mile and a mile and a half from the car, a mile from the ranger station. And to my right, I see, at the 1 o'clock, I see yellow eye shine looking at us. So I stop Sean, and I say, put your headlamp on, look over there, tell me what you see. Because I always like to ask who's ever with me. I don't want to tell them what I see. I want them to tell me what they see, so we're seeing the same thing, Right. And he says, there's like a yellow-red eye shine over there looking at us. I said, all right, pull out your machete. We may have to fight our way out of here, So he pulls out his machete. I pull out my machete. And as we're walking, and he goes, you think it's a deer? Now, if it's a deer, it's a pretty big deer because his eye shine is like at the 6-foot level. I said, well, we'll find out because the closer we get to it, if it's a deer, it's going to turn and run. Well, as we start to get closer to it, it's starting to walk out onto the trail towards us. So I'm like, this is not a deer. It gets out in front of us. I stop Sean, and it gets out in front of us, and we're looking at it, and it's showing itself to us as a giant buck. It looks like a giant buck, but it's looking at us like it wants to tell us something. And Sean's looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, do you see this? And he's like, yeah. I said, what are you feeling? He goes, yo, cuz, I'm telling you, it feels like this thing wants to tell us something. Now, maybe it did want to tell us something telepathically, but we're so confused at what we're looking at because I know this is not a deer. You know what I mean? Now, the dog man who was following us, we forgot all about him. Because right. Now we're thinking, what the hell are we dealing with in front of me? As a matter of fact, this was just right around the same time I had my UFO experience, and I'm thinking this is an alien in front of me showing himself to me as a deer. You know what I mean? I don't know. And we're looking at it, and we're laughing. We're laughing hysterical because we can't figure out what it wants, but it's humongous, and it's blocking the path that we can't get by. So after looking at each other for like 10 minutes, it walks off the trail, and so we start to walk forward again, and just as we get to it, it steps out again, and it looks at us. Now, it's so close to me, I could pet this damn thing, okay?
Oh, wow.
And was it solid?
Yeah, it was solid. It looked like a giant elk. We don't have elk in New York, you know what I mean? We don't have moose deer in New York. We have moose and we have deer, but we don't have moose, deer, or elk. And it
was it bipedal or was it on?
No, it was on all fours. It looked like a giant elk with a big rack.
Wow.
And we're looking at it, and it's looking at us. And again, 10 minutes go by, and it's staring us in the eyes like it wants to say something. I'm waiting for this thing to start talking. You know what I mean? I swear to God. And again, it turns and it walks off into the woods. Now it leaves. Again, now we notice, once it leaves, we notice that the dogman is no longer with us. We don't feel the dogman's energy anymore. So we get to the car, and we call my psychic, Cindy, up in Arkansas, and we wake her up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd say, you're not going to believe what just happened. And I explained to her what happened, and she said, the energy she was feeling, the residue of the energy she was feeling was that it was an elemental.
Yeah.
It was there. And it was there to help us get to our car without the dogman doing anything to us. But by this thing being there, made the dogman turn around and go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, I'm trying to explain to Cindy, but this thing just looked like a big elk. The dogman could have shredded it, you know? And she says, that's what you guys seen.
Yeah.
We don't know what the dogman's seen. It could have showed itself to the dogman as something else. You know, something that scares dogmen, but something that doesn't scare us, like a deer. It was absolutely insane. It was just, like I said, every time I go out and I think there's nothing else to experience that's going to freak me out or blow my mind, it's, how big was its rack? 44D, bro. 44D. Triple D, yeah. But it was just the strangest experience. Like, every time I go out, no matter where I go, whether it's ghost hunting, doing CE5s, trying to call in Native Americans, or squatching, or doing something for cryptids, I always have an experience. Always. I've never gone out and not had an experience. And people say, oh, well, if someone says they have an experience everywhere he goes, they're full of shit. And I would think the same thing. But it happens to me all the time. And Brian can tell you, when we're together, we've never gone out somewhere and not had an experience.
The energy combined. Oh, yeah. It kicks it up like 10 notches. It's awesome.
It's just crazy. And like I said, I don't know if it's because the people that I take with me have psychic abilities and they have their own energy and stuff like that. I don't know what it is. I can't.
It's a combination.
But
it's a dynamic.
We were up at Salem. We took my wife up to Salem, Massachusetts for her birthday, right? And my daughter paid a psychic to read the whole family, and I'm telling them, don't say nothing, don't agree to nothing, no matter what she says, just say that's interesting, you don't want to give her any signs. And I walk in the door, and I'm not in the door 10 feet, and she turns to me and she says, what's the deal with you and UFOs?
Oh,
and my daughter just flipped out. She's like, oh my God, Dad, this woman out of a clear blue sky. She's like, what's the deal with you and UFOs? And I was like, that's a long story. You know what I mean?
How long do you have?
Exactly.
Wow. So what do you think? What do you attribute to all that?
I think it's just my DNA, my energy. I don't know. My mother, like I said, my mother had psychic ability, and we researched our family history, and it's an original name from Rome. It goes back to the Roman Empire, even before the Roman Empire.
Do you know your blood type?
Yes, it's HR negative.
RH, okay.
RH negative. I'm sorry, I said it backwards. My last name in Italian means holy line. So, you have all of these things. Do all of those mean anything? I don't know. But all of them together may mean something, Do
you know all of your lineage, where you're from? Do you have any Native American or
I'm
Celtic?
100% Italian. My father was from Rome. My mother was from the north. Yeah.
I'm just curious because they usually like
a count, so I don't know.
Okay.
Where his bloodline.
But you have RH negative blood, which is interesting.
Yeah, we did a show. What was it called? Invasion of the Hudson Valley. We did it for the Travel Channel, I think it was, and they took our blood, and mine was the only one that came back RH negative. I just started laughing. I was like, of course it did, Yeah.
Which they say is the first. I'm AB negative. They say that RH negative, it was like one of the first waves of it, is what I've been told, and that the AB negative is like a spin-off of the RH. I don't know how true that is, but my grandma's RH negative, and I was.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Shit just happens to me, and it's happened to me my whole life. And like I said, everywhere I go, stuff I experience is it doesn't matter where I go, what I investigate, stuff happens. You know, experience.
Right.
I have an experience everywhere I go, no matter what I do. You know, went to Gettysburg and had all kinds of experiences at Gettysburg and stuff.
You're very
like
sensitive, definitely very sensitive to the environment.
that. Yeah,
I
mean,
no, that's it. That's so interesting that you say that, and I just wonder, you know, like in your experience, like I know that specifically, like with certain ET experiences, but you've experienced like the spectrum. It's not
Yes.
just one, or I mean, you've experienced like the spectrum of them. And
Yeah.
Brian's much the same. So, what do you think anything has to do with your location or anything like that's location specific? Oh, you have B negative. I've heard now that I heard is also Oh, that's interesting. That might be explained like why you're more spiritual like that. You know, I just wonder because it really does seem like it is very relevant to the type, you know, to the type of experience that you have. Now, do I know exactly why it is?
I don't necessarily think it's your location. I mean, of course, there are locations that are definitely more have portals and stuff like that. The energy is higher, different locations and stuff like that. But I just think it's your family lineage. You know, it's your. I don't know if it's in your blood or if it's in your DNA. I don't know, but that's what I think. You know.
Yeah, I didn't know if the type of blood maybe like where we didn't realize it put us kind of in a category. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, these, I'm just curious. There's been enough, like, I guess, similarities that I'm curious to know more about that. I should say is I don't know for sure. I don't know if it's even a thing or whatever, but it does seem like certain phenomenon happens or there's a large, you know, percentage of people with certain types of blood that kind of are able to do different things.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've never looked into the blood thing with like cryptid investigators or researchers or ghost hunters and stuff like that. I've only looked at it with the UFO on the UFO side of the things, and that's about it.
Oh yeah, Brian was saying that they do keep, but it's for clone, and that's a whole other subject. And I actually have.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm not going
God.
down that road now.
That's another day.
Yeah, because I have a very disturbing memory. I mean, I've later found what they were called cloning tanks, but that would make sense right there. Why maybe some of that was just interesting. It's interesting. It's like you think you're. I think maybe they want you to think that you're way smaller and this world is way bigger and you're just kind of this little drop, you know, or peg on a huge map that has, but I don't believe that's true at all. I really don't. The further and further that I get into this, it seems like the less and less are being authentic and genuine, like yourself. I really pick that up. Brian's one of them. You know, BMR is one of them that are really like, you know, that without a shadow of a doubt, it's like you live, eat, and breathe this. You can tell the difference when you start to get down to it and you're talking to somebody. There's only certain things you're going to understand.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is like I didn't know that we were as the paranormal. I thought my family was just normal. You know, I didn't know until my friends. I got older and started telling my friends. Like I had my first UFO encounter at 10, my first Bigfoot encounter at 12. You know, like I said, my first ghost experience with my grandmother at 5. So, you know, everything happened at an early age, you know? And it's just
my first ghost experience was 4 or 5. Yeah. Right around there.
Yeah.
What do you remember for yours? What was your first one like?
I just remember my grandmother coming in every night and tucking me in and kissing me and saying good night in Italian, and then she was gone. But I knew she wasn't alive because she was across the street at the funeral parlor. You know?
Okay, so that was the experience that you had talked about before.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember laying there in bed, and I was at my grandma's house, and there were these twin beds, and I remember laying on the far one, and it was there. I remember something holding my hand, and when it left, I remember the fan going off and turning back on, and I thought all the alarm clocks would be blinking 12 a.m., but they weren't. You know, I thought maybe it was a power out, but that was the first real, like, you know, memory that I had. But I started seeing more auras around people. it wasn't until I got further into it that they become more defined, and then I was able to hear them better and communicate. And then it looks like it went batshit crazy. They want you to do things. They're coming nonstop. I had to learn how to really put a control on it. But yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
no, I don't see auras or anything like that. But I call it vibes. I just get vibes. You know, it's an energy field that I pick up or whatever. You know, from people, from animals. You know, like just everything has energy, and you can just feel the energy. Like when I was saying before, when I had that ascension, when I came down from that ascension, I remember saying to my guide, wow, this was a crazy dream, right? And he stopped me, said, this isn't a dream. This is really happening. We had like 16 inches of snow outside. He said, when the snow melts, you'll see the sign. I'm like, okay. So the snow melted like a month later. I'm in the backyard looking for a sign. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for a sign. I have two backyards, an immediate backyard and then a stone wall, and then the woods, like backyard. And I go into the woods, and there around the tree are these giant balls of quartz crystal set up in a circle around a tree.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, this must be the sign, you know?
Yeah.
And
It has come. It has
Here's
come.
your
yeah.
sign.
and then the little voice said, touch the tree. And I touched the tree, and the little voice said, touch the rock. And I touched the rock, and I could feel the energy going through me, coming out of the rock, going the quartz, going through me into the tree, and I could feel the energy in the tree, like going up into the heavens and down into the. And I called a friend of mine because I was not a higher consciousness kind of guy, anything like that. And I said, dude, what am I supposed to do with this? And he said, Al, he says, it's a meditation circle. He goes, take your shoes off, put your feet down on the earth,
Sounds
put
like
your
Maya,
back,
yeah.
put your back up against that tree. He goes, and anytime you have a question for the universe, ask it, and you'll get answers. And I was like, okay. And it's still there in my backyard. I've never touched it. You know what I mean? So. I've never used it either, you know what I mean? I've never had any questions for the universe, so...
Come on, hey, can we test this out? We got some questions. Get on back there.
We got about 16 inches of snow in the yard now, so...
You got snowsuits there. Go get those boots on. We got
Yeah.
questions here, Al.
But, yeah, no, but I didn't know what to use it for. I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know what it was for. It was above my pay grade. I wasn't a higher consciousness kind of person. Like I said, I'm a very black and white kind of guy, you know, and I try to make, even when I see stuff, and like I said, I always ask the people who are with me, what are you seeing? Because I don't want to tell them what I'm seeing. And then this way, when they tell me they're seeing the same thing, I know we're not having the same hallucination, you know, because I try to rationalize everything. And then you try to rationalize it, and then you realize, okay, what it is what it is, and move on, you know.
Yeah, I just think that, Maya, we need to go and sit there for a minute. Do you open the... Brian, can you get us there?
My guides actually had me make something similar to that in the ground where I live. But it was spirals, 3 spirals, and I started to meditate on top of them, and it really was amazing. And you can feel the vibration, the frequency changes in something like that. So that's probably, it was something or someone trying to get you to that higher level of consciousness, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these quartz crystal stones are big, like bowling balls. Now, I've walked these woods behind my house. I have 100 acres of woods behind my house. I've walked these woods when my kids were small, you know, hunting with BB guns and stuff like that. There's no quartz stones around here. I've never seen a quartz stone around here, you know what I mean? Unless I get one on my fire pit that's left by a Sasquatch. Every now and then they'll come by and they'll leave me a gift, and I'll take that quartz stone and I'll bring it back to the sacred site and leave it for them there, and it always ends up back in my fire pit, you know?
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the only time I get quartz in my yard is from whatever created that circle and the Sasquatch when they come by.
That's amazing. So is it like a gifting spot? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, the sacred site, I do leave gifts. You know what I mean? But like I said, I have 100 acres of wetland across the street, and I think the Sasquatches hunt the wetlands. And like I said, my 100 acres behind my house used to be a farm, an apple tree farm. So there's still apple trees up there. So again, if the deers are up there eating the fallen apples, the Sasquatches are up there hunting the deers. You know what I mean? So and I spend a lot of time in the summertime in the backyard with my telescope. I'm a sky watcher. I like to see the stars.
Oh yeah.
And I got the fire going at the fire pit, and I'm having a couple of cold ones, and I'm just chilling out. And I hear the Sasquatches come by. Sometimes they come by, you don't hear them. Sometimes they come by and they let you know they're coming by, you know. And sometimes you wake up in the morning and there's a quartz crystal stone sitting on my red brick fire pit, you know. So I know that was just their way of saying, hey, we came by last night, you know, and that's that.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's a lot. That's not just that's that. That's like, I was like, yeah, definitely. I'm like, that's like a whole bag of that for, you know, packed into one. But
yeah. But when it becomes routine, you know what I mean? It's the first time I found it, I was like, what's this? Where did this come from? You know, yada, yada, yada. But then when it becomes routine and then you start hearing them coming through, and you know they're coming through, you know what I mean? Like I said,
that's so true, though. It's like the first thing could have been like so impressive, but then after it gets down the line, you're like, yeah, it was.
It's just normal now.
And yeah, exactly. And then, like I said, I'll take gifts and I'll bring it to the sacred site, and it'll end up back in my yard. Like when I gift, I don't gift food. I gift trinkets. I gift whistles. I gift squeaky toys, like dog squeaky toys, stuff like that. I'll gift stuff like that and leave, because I don't want them to associate me with food. You know, I want them to associate.
You don't want to be a snack? Is that what you mean?
No, absolutely not. I want to be, because I've heard horror stories where
I have too.
Yeah. So when I go up there, I leave gifts, and usually it's for the younger ones. You know what I mean? And every now and then, one of those gifts will end up in my backyard. I haven't had a dog in 10 years, you know, and I know my dog's squeaky toy is still not hanging around the yard. And there's and I see the squeaky toy, and it looks brand spanking new, and I know that's the one I bought at the dollar store to bring to the sacred site. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd leave it there to let you know they know, or?
I think they just said, Junior has had this long enough. I think you should have it back. Something like that.
We let him play with your human toy long enough.
It could be annoying all the time with the squeaky toy. You know? Same thing with the whistles. And
maybe it was getting cluttered with the other gifts they were getting. I don't know.
Yeah. I like to leave different kinds of stones, different kinds of crystals and stuff like that, you know. I know that they're working with different energies and stuff like that, so, you know. I've had a couple. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I did the same thing in Virginia, as I left a bunch of crystals all over the place where I could feel that energy I was telling you about come over me. So, yeah, that's really cool. I think that's common, too, for them to leave stones and things for people that they're connected to. Isn't that like a common theme?
Yeah, that is common, yeah. Or they'll make little gifts with vines from trees and stuff. They'll make little trinkets and stuff, you know, stuff like that.
That's so cool.
Out of twine or twigs or vines, they make stuff all the time. I had an aha moment one time. The thought never came to me that these creatures, or whatever they are, these people, can see color like we see, you know, until I started hanging different color strings at the location. Every time I'd go, I put a different color string. And every time I went, not only would the string be tied, but there would be some kind of trinket or toy underneath it that was the same color.
Oh, wow.
And I did this with like 6, 7 different colors. And then in the aha moment was like, holy crap, these guys see in color like us, you know? Not only can they see IR and at night they have night vision, but they see, like, you know, I'm thinking more like a dog that doesn't see in color, you know? But no, they see in color. You know, that they every time I left something there, a different colored string, there was a different toy there. I don't know where they're getting these toys from, these trinkets, but they're getting them, and it's the same color of what I left.
Probably all around the neighborhood. Stop by your house. They stop by the, you know. Good for them.
Yeah.
BMR wants to know, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, if Al wants to talk about the smoke demon in the parking garage.
No, absolutely not. I don't want to get into that tonight. No, it's way too much.
Way too much? Is this a part 2 in the making?
That goes on. That's one of Brian's favorite experiences. Yeah, no, that's dark stuff, and that's a long story. Yeah.
Well, maybe we can come back. Well, definitely come back for part 2 then. I guess, where do you think?
Spit it out, woman.
I know. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. How do I phrase this that all roads cross at a certain point? Where would you put that?
I told you frequency. And
if we wanted to all get there, like what frequency should we be vibing at, or do you know, like around what do you do?
I
like
would
the
say
shaman frequency.
I would start with the Earth frequency.
Okay, so that would be like the 9. What is it? 927.
I have it
like
in my notes. I have it in my phone, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But it's funny because when Brian and I used to do CE5s, he would always use binary beats to get to that conscious level. All the years I've done martial arts, I've done 5 different martial arts. I can never sit down and meditate. My brain just won't stop thinking. But when I put on Native American flute music, it gets me there. And then I found out that Native American flute music is the same frequency as the Earth frequency. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's why I get there. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that gets me into a higher state of consciousness where I can meditate.
And then where do you go from there? Brian's saying 432.
Okay. I'm sure the professor knows. He knows everything.
The professor knows everything.
Paranormal professor.
Paranormal professor. That's good. And then Benna wants to know if you play the flute.
No, I'm a guitar player.
You do play an instrument. I was going to say Jay Michaels, who's in here, he does Native American flute before.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and he's an ET experiencer, so there might be something to this whole thing.
Do you ever use the music from your guitar to communicate to any beings at all?
No, I've never used my guitar music, no. Like I said,
Are you a good player?
Oh, I'm a horrible player.
You're just not confident enough to play for the beings.
I have 10 different guitars in my closet, and I can't play any of them. Now, what happened was when I was younger, we had a garage band, and I was a pretty decent player back in the day. But then I got cancer, and I got something called a chemocoma. I had never heard of it before, but I look at my books from when I was like 12 years old taking guitar lessons, and it looks like Chinese to me now. I can't figure it out. But I still play guitars. You know, some days I'll plug in and I'll sound like Jimi Hendrix. And some days I'll plug in, and I'll sound like a cat that's in heat. You know what I mean? And I know right away to just shut the amp off and walk away because I don't have it that day. Because when I play and I'm feeling it, my eyes are usually closed and I'm just listening to what I'm playing. I don't even know what I'm playing really. You know, I'm not looking at the notes or the chords. I'm just playing. It's just coming out of me. So that's just the way it is at this stage of the game, you know. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Yeah, no, I've heard that people are singing or like certain things. I thought if I sang, they all run. They were not towards me either, the other way. But yeah, either you got it or you got it. You know, maybe just need just a little work on that. Hey, they'll come in time. It sounds like you don't have a problem calling them.
I wouldn't have a problem bringing the acoustic in and playing the acoustic. Do a lot of southern rock and stuff like that. Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker, Allman Brothers, stuff like that. But who the hell wants to carry it on your back for 4.5 miles? You know what I mean? I'm already carrying my gear that I'm going to use for the night, you know. And like I said, some of this Appalachian Trail is like a go trail. It's really sketchy. Brian, to tell you, he's been on it. It's not an easy hike whatsoever, you know. Like these guys they show on TV that are walking down these mining what do you call it? The roads with all the guys who cut down trees. Those roads are double wide, and you know you could take a side by side out of them. The trails I'm going down are a foot wide, and it's sketchy as hell, and there's water running over the rocks, and the rocks are slippery, and if you go down on those rocks, you'll pop your head right open and stuff. So it's
even
stuff.
just driving through the Appalachian is there's a crazy vibration that comes from those mountains.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Can I ask you something? You mentioned something about two walls side by side.
Yeah, up here in the Northeast, we have a lot of these stone walls. They're like 3 feet high and 3 feet thick, and they just run for miles and miles, and some of them parallel one another, but only like 10 feet apart. And and up here they call them property markers, but I don't think the people who owned the property back in the colonial days are building a wall that's going to last forever. You know what I mean? Just as a property marker, you know what I mean? And I don't know who built these walls, but they run all over the Northeast in all different directions, but a lot of them do run parallel. So like I said, it doesn't make any sense, you know, why you would build two walls that run parallel to each other, unless you're trying to capture some kind of energy in between them, you know.
Yeah, like a portal? Has anyone ever thought of it being like a portal?
Yeah. I've been in between two of them where we had a really crazy thing happen to us. Was in there with a group of people, and it was a beautiful sunny day. We get in between these two walls, and it's really, really nice grass and everything. Hey, let's stop here, have something to drink, have lunch. Seemed like a nice place to have lunch, you know. And we're in the middle of the woods, and we get into in between these two walls, and then all of a sudden, clouds roll in, and it gets really windy, and it's whipping around like a tornado, and the energy is just chaotic. It's absolutely insane. Yeah. And everybody's freaking out, all the people that I'm with, and everybody's running out of these. And I'm in this energy vortex, trying to figure out what I'm dealing with, you know. And it probably was some kind of portal or something that didn't want us in there, you know, and it was trying to drive us out of there. But yeah, it was a pretty wild time. Yeah.
That sounds wild. Sounds scary.
And I'm that type of guy that never wants to leave. I always say there's always something else that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for that one more thing, you know. And like, I think that's how I got cancer. Brian and I were in a stone chamber one time, and we were amping up the chamber with a frequency. And we were filming in thermal, and our Geiger counters were off the charts. And Brian's like, I think we should leave. The Geiger counter's in red, you know. And I'm like, nah, I feel like there's still more to come. I don't want to leave yet, you know. And actually, Brian was filming me, and I was filming him, and he caught something that came out of the wall, like a shadow figure, that popped out and looked at us, and then popped back into the wall. Yeah. And I didn't see it because I had my back to it. But then we went over, we checked the wall, and there was nothing there. And then we left. Of course, you know, we probably should have left sooner because the Geiger counter was in red. And then I got cancer, so I may have given it to myself.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But that's just how I am, you know what I mean? I feel like there's more to come, and I just don't want to leave, you know? And then I know when it's time to leave, you know? I've known that my whole life. I've always been able to walk away from crap before shit went down, you know what I mean? And that's just who I am, and so I always like want to push it to the limit.
Oh,
Apologize, I took myself off stage.
there we go.
I was just wondering if everything, everything's okay. You're in remission, all that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cat scratch fever, Andrew.
Yeah. Thank you, Maya, for telling me I was muted. I forgot. And then, yeah. Oh, Brian said I've opened a. I believe that. And then there was one, and thank you for the super chat. Andrew wants to know, can you do the Ted Nugent?
Yes, cat scratch fever. That's what I was telling him. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do Ted Nugent? Like, can you? I don't know. Is that all you?
That's one of his famous songs, Cat Scratch Fever.
They want you to sing it?
No, I'm not singing it. Absolutely
That's
not.
where I thought we were going.
No, I
here.
think he
was
wanted to know if I could play it, I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to perform it for us on,
Yeah, I seen Ted Nugent in concert. He was amazing.
Okay, that's all we're getting though, right? No.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Well, Andrew, I tried. That's awesome. So I would love to have, especially you and Brian, if you guys want to come back, we'd love to have you guys back. You've been absolutely fabulous tonight.
Thank you.
In conclusion, is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with? And let them know where they can find you. I'm so glad. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. I really haven't. We have the BPS team does have a YouTube channel. Haven't put anything up in a long time. I really haven't posted any evidence on any of my pages in a long time because I got so tired of people robbing my shit and putting it in books and talking about it on TV and all this crap that I started holding everything back. But I feel like I'm ready to start putting all the evidence that I do have that I've been holding back out on the BPS pages. So if I'm going to start anywhere, it'll probably be YouTube and Facebook. So you can find me there. But Brian's got us all over the world, every social media platform in the world.
Brian should be like the networking, like he's guru or something. I've never seen somebody in so many places.
Brian is a computer guru. He really is, and a tech guru. He can do anything on that shit. He can do anything on his phone, never mind on his computer, you know what I mean? So he's amazing. I can't even turn my computer on and
he probably has access to it.
Oh, I'm sure he has access to all of my shit. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind he's got access to everything. Yeah.
Everything you got, Brian's got to you. We'll leave it at that. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's been so nice to have you on. And then, Maya, what would you like to leave the people with tonight?
So lately it's been, for me anyways, I'm going to assume it's a lot for the same for a lot of people. For about a week, it was like, okay, who am I going to go and hate today, like online, like YouTube or Facebook, because there's so much gross, mean, crazy things happening right now that I got like consumed with like the ugliness and the evil of the world. And I had to pull myself back and be like, no, now is the time where we've got to like start coming back into self and being really healthy with our mental and our physical and our psyche. So, I take care of yourselves, you guys. Don't go on rabbit holes. There's a lot of evil. It does exist. It's okay to witness it. Just don't get consumed by it. Like if you don't have a job that makes you be consumed by it, then don't do it, because there's a reason they're putting all these things out right now all at the same time. They want us at a certain vibration, and it's a low vibration, and it's a siphoning vibration. They want us upset, angry, scared, hating on the other guy when really there is no other guy. We are all in this together, and the only sides that we have to worry about is good and evil. The rest of it can just fall away. So
that's so true. I really I don't know who just said it in chat. Like, I remember Alan Watts being like, "Be that passenger in a moving train." What, you can't take everything so seriously. You get stuck in that like superhuman experience. And this is a spiritual. You got to stay balanced. I hear you loud and clear, but you cannot go too far into that where you do start to hate, because it happens easy. It does.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
yeah, well said, Maya. Very beautiful message. I agree. Yes. So on that note, we'd like to thank you for taking the journey into the the unknown. Yeah, I don't know what I'm reading behind me again. Thank you for taking the journey. Like this, I need to. Anyway, thank you for taking the journey into the unknown. I'm Coley, also known as Coleyufo. With the beautiful Miya StarFire. Maya, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at Miya StarFire, and also on Facebook at Miya StarFire.
Yes, I definitely encourage you to go and check both of them out. Al, you've been great. We really appreciate you, and we will definitely be seeing you soon. So on that note, we're out of here.
Bye.
Bye. We're almost out of here anyway. There we go.
Bet you on the back row, phone screen glow, slow motion halo. You say hit that follow, next thing we're flying over cargo. Swipe up, then we lift off. Both feet leaving this floor. Highway like the kick drum. You said you're ready for more. Up in the main room, neon dust on my white shoes. You spin me like a typhoon. Lost track, but I'm locked on you. Baseline in my cage. Oh yeah. Time warp when you say my name. You smile, then we time lapse. Two hearts in a hyperdrive lane.
Paul Anthony stands ready in the show.